right? How the hell did Miranda Tate get the inside track on the Wayne board? I mean, she's been meeting with him, she's been sleeping with him.
Not that we know of.
Clearly you don't know much of anything, do you? Where's Bane?
Oh, you told him it was urgent.
Oh, where is that mask?
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
What the hell is going on?
Our plan is proceeding as expected.
Oh, really? Do I look like I'm running Wayne Enterprises right now? Your hit on the stock exchange, it didn't work, my friend. And now you have my construction crews going around the city at 24 hours a day. How exactly is that supposed to help my company absorb Wayne's?
Leave us.
No, stay here. I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
I've paid you a small fortune.
This gives you power over me?
What is this?
Your money and infrastructure have been important. Till now.
What are you?
I'm Gotham's reckoning. Here to end the borrowed time you've all been living on.
Pure evil.
I'm necessary evil.
No.
You wanted peace. Did you not? This is how peace is forged. It is forged in victory. Listen. That is the sound of peace. That is the sound of your peace. That is the sound of your greatness.
I ask nothing of you. Only that you will always speak to me clear and true. Always.
Cobra.
Will you promise me only that?
I will.
Shalom, all praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Warakakadash, and honors to you warriors, the few standing, the few holding their ground in the pillars and the foundation of truth, of Amath. And you know, one of the root words of Amath, the truth in the Hebrew, is that word math. And it's all about doing the math. You know, there's only a few the Lord's really dealing with, a small sanctuary. Us men that are looked at as insignificant, as little, as irrelevant, the little ones. And the Lord's actually with us and dealing with us and actually building us up. And he's also adding others unto our ranks as well through the Spirit, not necessarily bringing them into our exact camp, but in the same mind, the same spirit, the same judgment and the same conversation. And that's what the Lord did for David in his kingdom when he was being raised up. And the Lord was with David in every aspect. You know, David would inquire of the Lord, Lord, should I go up and fight the Philistines? Should I go up and do this, do that? And the Lord would always answer him. He would always give him the answer, like, yeah, go up. I'm with you to deliver them into your hands. And that's what the Lord is doing unto us now in these days. He's delivering our enemies into our hands. And it first began in our house first. So we can't get to Esau. We can't get to these fucking Amalekites and shit until we go through our people. Just like Bane said, he's Gotham's reckoning. Well, we're Jerusalem's reckoning. The wickedness of our nation. Jerusalem, which killed the prophets, that robs and spoils our nation. Well, we're taking all that back. We're taking that from the thief, and we're giving it to those that are in need and those that it's really for. The word that's gonna actually profit them, and not of money. And that's why Bane said, hey, your money, it had its purpose, but you think that gives you power over him? See, just like you guys in this truth, you made a fortune. You made a fortune off this word, and you think that gives you power over us? And you have no power over the spirit. The only thing you have power over is the flesh, and the flesh is rotting away. The flesh dies daily, and that's what guys are doing. They're dying daily. It doesn't matter how much videos you elders and you camp heads, you elderlies are doing. It's all in vain. If it's not in Yahweh Shai, then it's irrelevant. It's not being stacked up in heaven. And that's why the Lord said, don't stack your treasures on earth where thief and rob and moth corrupt. And that's what's happened. There are treasures here on earth. Now this is Psalms 50 and 18. Because just like in that other scene, from the king, which I referred to last night in the Raw, that man that killed that dude with that sharp sword to the skull, he was a king. And that man that he killed, he's the one. He was a snake the whole time. He was doing all kind of false. He was bringing up false witnesses. He was conniving just so he can get more lands and money. And King Henry, he realized that at the end. That was the closing scene. He realized at the last scene, and he didn't care about the victory. He didn't care about the praise of men and all the fame and vainglory. He cared that men's lives were lost because of what? Because of his false tongue. Because of his false tongue and all of his conniving, devious ways, man, to try to just come up. And see, he wasn't like trying to like take the crown from him, but he was using him for his own reasons, you see? Because the thing is about war, there's a lot of money to be made in war, blood money. And that's why, America's never been at peace, because they've been at war ever since their nativity. Because they've been robbing and spoiling many nations. That's why we're in the time now of this kingdom being spoiled by all the other nations. So this is Psalms 50 and 18. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, meaning you agreed with him. You was with it. It says, and has been partakers with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. And it's of our own kin, our own nation, our own family, guys in this truth with us, that are sitting in these high seats and speaking against the true brothers of Yahweh Shai. And that's what you have to understand. See, what we're doing, we're making a stand. We're not comfortable. We're not situated. We don't have a seat here. Just like in the United Nations, Israel, right, the Israelites, we don't necessarily have a carnal seat there, but spiritually we do. All these guys that are committing adultery and spiritual fornication with the kings and rulers of this world, that conspiring with them against the Lord's hidden ones, the Lord's true elect. So it says, Matthew 23 and 1, then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and Pharisees, the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Right, so they're actually taking a seat. They have these seats. But it's not theirs to begin with. And the Lord said the spirits are subject to the prophets, but they're not true prophets. And they're not in that spirit of vengeance and true judgment. You see what I'm saying? Executing, and just like when you read the story in Judges, I believe, but you had a son of Jeroboam, I think it was, or Gideon. Yeah, Gideon, I believe. But his son wasn't able to execute judgment because he was still a youth. The Lord's dealing with men that have grown up, that fucking their balls have dropped. and they're ready to go. And the Lord's with us in the judgment, you see, because Lord, he's raising us up with his dead body, and with him we are living and reigning with him, you see. Psalms 50 and 21, these things hast thou done, right? All this conniving, all this wickedness, getting money, manipulating things, scheming, plotting. It says, and I kept silence. The Lord, he was silent for a time, but now he's not silent anymore. He's speaking through us. It says, thou thoughtest that I was altogether such, and one as thyself. So they thought, just like that guy that bowed down. See, like when you watch that movie, The King, it's heavy because prior to the ending scene, he was like sitting on he was standing on this like podium getting like measurements for his like new clothes or whatever. And then the king, he came in and he sat down and he started to inquire. He was starting to test him and try him. He was like, tell me, how much lands have you gotten in France? Tell me how much. And then the wicked, that wicked damn snake, he started to realize he was getting caught. So he tried to step down from that podium. The king was like, stay there. Stay up there. That's where you want to be. Stay up there. And he tried to leave like 3 times. And the king was like, get your ass back up there. It was beautiful, man. And he wasn't speaking too much. And that's the thing about Yahushua and the men of the Lord in these last days. We're coming into to the times where we're not going to have to talk so much, man. Get caught in mouth. Basically all our sayings and all our parables are just about finished. And we ain't going to have to speak for much longer. Just like when Yahushua, he was brought to the councils and to the judges and to the wicked and during the nighttime too. And he didn't have much to say. He was a man of few words. Like the scripture saying, Sirach, be as one that knoweth, but keepeth his tongue. You see? So Yahushua knew what was going on. It was the hour of power of darkness. And their hour is just about up, Akim. It says, thou thoughtest I was altogether such an one as thyself, right? You thought that Yahushua, his men, the elect, was like you guys. You guys that claim to be great. They want to be the greatest. They want to be exalted. You thought the Lord was like you, but he's not. The Lord, you see, he's far away from the guys that are high, but the Lord is near to those that are poor and low. You see, and he's honored of them, of us. It says, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. So we're being set in order, brothers. And everyone in his rightful order, one at a time. So it's all hands on deck at this point. Every brother has to put their whole force in these last days for the Lord, so that in return, Lord can put his full force in you. You see? 2 Samuel 23 and 3, the God of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me, he that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of God, not fearing man and what man is going to think of you. Because when you look at the story of number 16, right, Moses exacted the judgment upon Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. He set it up. And it wasn't of his own heart. It wasn't of his own intents. It was the intents of the Lord. Lord, the one that separation happened, so he could judge and consume them in a moment. And, when you read down in that chapter, number 16, when you go to the last few verses, all the people started murmuring at Moses and Aaron, saying, you killed the people of Israel. Yeah, the wickedness of our people, man. And that is required of the true leaders of our nation, to destroy and cast away the bad fish, to kill them, man. And that's what we're doing through the spirit of the word. This is not no joke, man. This is not a game. This is not a light thing. This is serious, man. This is a business of the Lord. Slaying the wicked with the sword of the Lord's mouth. Proverbs 29 and verse 4 says, the king by judgment establisheth the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthroweth it. And that's what guys have done. They've received gifts and presents from this world, and it's destroyed their heart. It's destroyed the Holy Spirit in them, where they can no longer reprove. So Lord, he's raising up men that love judgment. They're all about judgment. They're all about separating the holy from the unholy. That's the whole job in the law of a priest. It says, a man that flattereth his neighbor. That's what that guy was doing. He's trying to flatter the king. Oh, you're great. You're victorious. You're this. But hey, man, King Henry, man, he saw right through it. Says, but he that it's like 5 says, a man that flattereth with his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet. So when guys flatter you and tell you all these smooth things, they're spreading a net for you under your feet. It's a trap. It's a trap, man. Says, in the transgression of an evil man there is a snare, but the righteous though sing and rejoice. Right? So we're singing and we're rejoicing in the Lord, the holy apostles and prophets. Now, I want to also get a couple precepts from Maccabees, because a lot of guys don't talk about Maccabees. So they'll talk about the nigga woman all day. Oh, the nigga woman this, her eyelashes. It's all goddamn folly at certain great dignity. But what's in the low places is actually the judgment of the Lord. Just like the brother made that point. That's where the chariot's going to swing low. With the brothers that are low, man. That are taking cover in the Lord, man. We at war. Second Maccabees 3 and 1. And I highly exhort you brothers to read Second Maccabees 3 and also Second Maccabees 4, because it was showing you the corruptness of what was going on with the priesthood. Because the priest, the thing is about the priests, especially in ancient times and even now, definitely too, but there was a long feud and long tug of war between the righteous priests and the false priests, because whoever was a priest, they was in control of the tithes, of the gold, of the silver, of all the money that was in the sanctuary. All right. Second Maccabees 3 and 1. Now, when the holy city was inhabited with all peace, and the laws were kept very well, because of the godliness of Onias the high priest, and his hatred of wickedness, it came to pass that even the kings themselves did honor that place, and magnify the temple with their best gifts. And the Lord said, to the watchmen upon the wall, which that's us, hold not your peace, give the Lord no rest, till he establish, till he makes Jerusalem a praise on the earth. And right now it's being downtrodden by the Gentiles. It's not just these heathens like Esau and Moab and shit. It's also being downtrodden by these Israelites that are in a Gentile mind frame, man, that think like the heathens do. You see? That are in the flesh and on the spirit. That mind high things, you see, and not things of the Lord. So it says, in so much that Seleucus, king of Asia, of his own revenues, bear all the costs belonging to the service of the sacrifices. But one Simon of the tribe of Benjamin, who was made governor of the temple, fell out with the high priest about disorder in the city. So when you fall out with someone, means that you no longer see eye to eye. And that's what's happening already in this truth with us and all these other camps, man. All these camps, there's been a falling away. That's what the Lord said would have to happen first. Everything in order and decency, right? Let all things be done in decency and order. The Lord said there has to be a falling away first, and the son of perdition be revealed. So this is what's being revealed right now, brothers. It says, and when he could not overcome Onias, right? He couldn't overcome Onias with his evil. And same thing with us. These guys can't overcome us with their evil. It says he got him to Apollonius, the son of Thrasis, who then was governor of Seleucia and Phoenice, and told him that the treasury in Jerusalem was full of infinite sums of money, so that the multitude of their riches, which did not pertain to the account of the sacrifices, was innumerable, and that it was possible to bring all into the king's hand. You see? And loose, I like the saying, but loose lips sink ships. You see? And thing is about the wicked, when they have a large sum of money, what do? They waste it. They waste it on carnal things. Like look at these rappers that sell their soul. They'll get a chain. They'll get the fastest car. They'll waste the money away. But when you give a large sum of money into a hand of a righteous, honest, wise man, he doesn't waste it. He keeps it in the treasury and only brings it out when need is. When you need to help someone. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when the righteous are in authority, the people go to rejoice in that time. See, no one's rejoicing right now, man, because all these riches and all the elements of the world are being not used correctly. They're being wasted away, you see? Isaiah, and Lord willing, we'll get back to that in Maccabees 3. Isaiah 1 and 23 says Isaiah 1 and 21 says, how is the faithful city become an harlot? So you got like this elder talking about, the great whore judgment. Well, you're a part of that great whore with all your greatness. See, guys have such greatness in fucking Egypt. Guys have such greatness in Sodom and Gomorrah. This is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So why guys so great here? See, Moses, thing is with Moses, he rejected that. Even though he basically had a seat in a certain situation with Pharaoh and Pharaoh's daughter, he denied that. He denied that whole side of the family, because that wasn't his true family. And he rather suffered with the affliction of his nation, esteeming the riches of Yahushua greater riches than of Egypt, which they are, because they're eternal, they're everlasting. It says, how is the faithful city becoming harlot? It was full of judgment, righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers, right? So a lot of guys that are murderers are now lodging in the city. And that's why we have to go through the city. We have to go into the city, like Paul, like Yahushua, like Stephen. They went into Jerusalem. They went into the wickedness of our nation, man. The darkness, the evil, the corruptness of our nation, man. And they were exposing it. They weren't joining hand in hand with it. They weren't accepting of persons. They weren't taking a seat with these guys, man. They weren't sitting with the wicked, like the Lord said in Psalms 1:1. I have not sit with the wicked. I will not sit in their presence. You see, I sat alone. See, we sit alone because of the Lord's hand. Lord's hand's upon us. Says, thy silver is become dross, thy wine mixed with water. Right? And guys, they're actually watering down the wine of Yahushai. How strong it is. You know what I'm saying? Says, thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. You see? So all these guys are all friends of thieves, man, and murderers. But they hate the righteous, man. They give the righteous to the death, like Yahushua says. Everyone loveth gifts and followeth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. Therefore, saith the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of mine adversaries and avenge me of mine enemies. And just like that parable, the Lord said in Luke, I believe, but about that woman, she wouldn't keep quiet and she wanted to be avenged of her enemy. And the Lord said he will avenge his elect speedily. But when he comes back, shall he find faith on the earth? So the reason why the Lord made that parable is because faith is going to be like extinct. It's going to be endangered. It's only going to be with a few. It says, and I will turn mine hand upon thee and purely purge away thy dross and take away all thy tin, these lesser metals. These guys that aren't standing the test of time in the fiery furnace of our trial. They're not able to withstand the times. They're perishing. You see? And I'll restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. Zion shall be redeemed with judgment. Right? That's how we're going to be redeemed by, with judgment. It says, and her converse with righteousness. And the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together, and they that forsake the Lord shall be consumed. Right? And you have to forsake everything that you have here. You have to leave off. You have to sacrifice. And what guys are doing, they're not able to like withdraw from this place because they have so much like stock. They have so much like riches here. Guys are getting to their bag, like they should the song like these guys are singing, we're getting to the bag like Judas Iscariot. That's the song that they should be singing, man. You see? Let me make a point. Let me stay in Maccabees. All right, 2 Maccabees 5:27. But Judas Maccabeus with 9 others or thereabout withdrew himself into wilderness. Right, just like Yahushai. When the Holy Spirit, the dove, came upon him, he withdrew himself into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And he passed the test, man. He passed the test. And see, the thing is about this precept, right? Judas Maccabeus with 9 others or thereabout withdrew himself into wilderness, right? Because you have to understand, like I said earlier, numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And this truth, math, you have to add it up. The Lord is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The Lord said 1 man amongst 1,000 he's found that's righteous, that's upright in heart. So you have to understand, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the end. It's only a small sample. It's only a few brothers the Lord's really dealing with, man. And the few believers that actually believe and trust in the word that the prophets are saying, that we're saying. That's it. Everybody else is outside the temple is going to be destroyed and consumed by the word, by the judgments. So you have to understand who's in the spirit of Judas Maccabeus and these 9 others actually withdrawing themselves from the pollution and the corruptness of this world and the gifts and the food and shit. And leaving off things, because that's the time they're coming into, brothers, of the devil coming down with great wrath, yes, but the Lord coming down with greater wrath. But the Lord's going to use us as a vessel to do that, where we're going to have to literally like leave everything here, man, you see, and just walk by faith. See, the guys that are walking by their sight, they're not going to be able to do that. So in the time of these trying times, they're actually going to falter, they're going to fail, they're going to fall down and worship Baal, which they're already doing, but it's going to be more evident as you come into the times you're coming into. You know what I'm saying? It says, and we lived in the mountains after the manner of beasts with his company, who fed on herbs continually, lest they should be partakers of the pollution. That's right. And the Lord said, arise and depart. This isn't your rest. So we're striving, we're fighting, we're working for us, Lord willing, to enter into the Lord's rest. And you other brothers that are troubled like us, rest with us, man. Rest with us. Rest with the other brothers, man. And see, they fed on herbs, and the Lord said, better is herbs, man. You know, in Proverbs 15 and 17 says, better is a dinner of herbs where love is. So the love is here, man. We have the love of God. But like these other Pharisees and elders, the love of God is not in them. They don't care about the sheep, man. They only care about them fuck themselves, man. Look at these guys, man. The face on the camera, you know, all they works, they just be seen of men. It says, then a stalled ox and hatred were therewith, right? So they got all the meat, they got all the gifts, they got all the money, but they got hatred. They're doing this out of hate. They hate Yahushua. They hate the word. So everything they're doing is just is vanity, man. It's irrelevant. And the Lord's not hearing them. Proverbs 26 and 8. Proverbs 28 and 6. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. You see? And that's this whole world, man. You know? Like you have this politician. She was at some fucking celebrity wickedness fucking party, whatever. And you know, her title's like AOC. I forget her name, but she's like a Jake or whatever. But she had a dress on that said tax the rich. But here it is, you have to pay like 30G or 50G just to get into this party / model thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's absolute hypocrisy, man, all around. And especially in this truth. 2 Chronicles 20 and 12. It says, O our power, wilt thou not judge them? For we have no might against this great company that cometh against us. Neither know we what to do, but our eyes are upon thee, right? Our eyes upon the Lord. And, you know, we just trust the Lord. You know, there's a great company. There's a lot of men that hate us and want us to cease from what we're doing. But we're not going to cease from our works until the Lord authorizes it. And just like in the Maccabees, you know, they were coming up against the Maccabees with great multitudes. You know, they were fed. But see, Judas and the Maccabees, you know, they were feasting on herbs. They was fasting, but they were still whooping ass, man. And that's us. Just like Daniel, when you go to the book of Daniel, Daniel and his 3 other brothers, that the king put in a high seat because he saw that the spirit of the gods, the Holy Spirit was upon them. They didn't eat from the king's table, but their visage, their countenance was better than those that did eat at the king's table, that ate with gluttony and ate whatever they fucking wanted. You know what I'm saying? And instead we got the Day of Atonement coming up, so it's all spiritual, man. 2 Chronicles 20 and verse 13. And all Judah stood before the Lord with their little ones, their wives, and their children. You see, and our eyes upon the Lord. You see, just as a maiden, her eyes, a maid's eyes are upon their masters. Let me get this. Psalms 123 and 2 says, behold, as the eyes of servants look unto the hand of their masters, and as the eyes of a maiden unto the hand of her mistress, so our eyes wait upon the Lord, our power, until that he have mercy upon us. Whoo. See, so we're not losing our vision. We're not we're keeping our eye on the prize, man, which is winning Yahushai. This world is dung. It's shit. It's a bunch of shit out here, man. And it smells, it stinks, it's nasty, there's flies all over it. But guys, they took in the shit over Yahushai, man. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. You see? When you really think about it. Ezekiel 20 and 4. Wilt thou judge them? Whew, hold up. Ezekiel 20 and verse 2. The title of this chapter is God's Dealing with Israel Rehearsed. Whew. And we're rehearsing the righteous acts. See, everything happens over again, brothers. So that's why our mind is being stirred up, you know, remembrance. We're remembering what happened in the times past, which has happened now. Ezekiel 20 and 2. Then came the word of the Lord unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto the elders of Israel, and say unto them, whoo, thus saith the Lord God, are ye come to inquire of me? As I live, saith the Lord God, I will not be inquired of by you. Wilt thou judge them, son of man? Wilt thou judge them? Cause them to know the abominations of their fathers. And that's heavy because Yahushai said it in Matthew 23. He said, yea, do witness that you are the children of I'm gonna have to just get it. But the Lord said, you bear witness that you are the fathers that killed the prophets, man. So through the Spirit, you're seen by their fruits, you shall know them. You're seen by men's actions, what guys are doing. Who is who? You see? Who is who, man? All right. 2 Peter 2 and verse 21. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. But it has happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to a wallowing in the mire, right? So everything that they've done in the beginning is irrelevant, you know, and they weren't able to finish their tower. They weren't able to finish. The Lord said, the righteous runneth into the name of the Lord, and he's a strong tower. And that's why a lot of guys are weak, because they actually stopped running, man. They stopped, like I said in the Raw last night, man. You have to see, the Levites, right, in Leviticus 6 and 13. The Lord said, give them no rest, you know, don't cease. Every day, this is a daily sacrifice. Leviticus 6 and 13. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar, it shall never go out. So you have to feed that fire. You have to always bring the wood, you know, always fan it, you know, get that gasoline on it, you know, light that up, you know. And that takes diligence. All right. 1 Chronicles 12 and 22. For at that time, day by day, they came to David to help him until it was a great host, like the host of God. So the thing is about the righteous and you few brothers is that the Lord, he's going to increase you. He's going to send a backup. He's going to, bring those to help you and to make it better for us to serve the Lord and to really finish this thing out and close it. So he's going to send us, brothers and sisters and help meets and so on and so forth at the right time, you know, everything on the Lord's time. 23, and these are the numbers of the bands that were ready, armed to the war, and came to David to Hebron to turn the kingdom of Saul to him, according to the word of the Lord. So we're in the time now, the word of the Lord is turning the kingdom from the highly exalted, the high seats, to what? To the low seats. The Lord said, abase him that is high and exalt him that is low. You see, the Lord's honored of the lowly. But the Lord, Yahushai, which is the head of every man, but men make themselves the heads. He's dishonored of you highly exalted, all you murderers, man. 2 Timothy 4 and verse 8. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto them also that love his appearing. And Lord, he's appearing in our life and through us. It says, do thy diligence to come surely unto me. For Demas hath forsaken me, having loved this present world. And if you love this world, the love of God is not in you. And guys love this place, man. They can't get enough of it. They love the folly. They love the jokes. They love playing around. They love the wickedness, man. It says, having loved this present world, it is departed unto Thessalonica, Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. Only Luke is with me. Take Mark and bring him with thee, for he is profitable to me for the ministry. Right? So these spirits are back here today. These brothers are back here today. And we're all spirits created for vengeance. You know, vengeance is the Lord. He's gonna repay. But we're the Lord's weapon. We're in the Lord's hand. He's using us. He's swinging us, man. And when you swing a sword, man, with power and might, you hear that thing. So you're hearing us, man. So the righteous love of the judgment, and they're not going to be offended. But the wicked, they're going to be scorning at judgment. They're going to hate judgment. They're not going to understand judgment. And that's how a lot of guys are in these camps. All praise, glory, honor, fear, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Abba, Shalom, La, Bayath, Shaldawadah, House of David.